The silence inside the Senate chamber was thick enough to cut with a knife. All eyes locked on Senator John Kennedy as he leaned forward, papers in hand, his signature Southern calm hiding a storm about to break loose. The Louisiana senator, known for his wit, his honesty, and his unshakable moral compass, had just added a line that would echo across the nation and spell the end of George Soros's unchecked influence in Washington. Mr. Soros, Kennedy began slowly, his voice firm but deliberate, has spent years trying to buy America's conscience, but I've got news for him: this country's soul is not for sale. The words struck like thunder. For years, George Soros had a billionaire financier whose money and influence had seeped deep into political movements, media networks, and activist organizations. They had seemed untouchable. Many feared him, many refused to even mention his name. But not John Kennedy. Not today. What unfolded next was more than just a political confrontation. It was a defining moment in the battle for America's identity. Kennedy laid out, step by step, a damning case that exposed how Soros-funded groups had infiltrated public offices, manipulated policies, and fueled division across the nation. He didn't just speak with facts, he spoke with fire, the kind that comes from someone who's seen his country drift too far and decided enough was enough. Every time you turn around, Kennedy said, his Louisiana drawl echoing with conviction, you find Mr. Soros pulling the strings, behind prosecutors who won't prosecute, behind protests that destroy more than they heal, behind media outlets that twist the truth until it screams. Well, today, we're cutting those strings. The chamber fell silent again. Cameras clicked. The weight of truth hung in the air like a storm about to break. Kennedy wasn't just exposing corruption, he was calling for a reckoning. Then came the moment that left the entire room stunned. Kennedy turned toward his colleagues and said, the American people are tired. Tired of being lied to, tired of being manipulated. Tired of billionaires thinking they can buy our democracy. Mr. Soros, your time is up. Gasps rippled through the gallery. Some senators shifted uncomfortably, others nodded in agreement. Kennedy had done what few dared. He had taken on one of the world's most powerful figures and spoken truth without fear. Outside the chamber, the reaction was immediate. Across social media, clips of Kennedy's speech exploded. Millions watched as he calmly but powerfully dismantled the influence of a man long seen as untouchable. Ordinary Americans, 8 truck drivers, teachers, veterans, small business owners, they shared the video, calling Kennedy a hero for standing up when others stayed silent. He said what we've all been thinking, one viewer wrote. Finally, someone with the guts to fight for us. But the story didn't end there. Kennedy's speech triggered a series of investigations that began to peel back the layers of Soros's political network. Funding sources once hidden in the shadows came to light. Lawmakers who had quietly benefited from those funds found themselves under scrutiny. The tides were turning, and Soros's influence, once unshakable, began to crumble. Meanwhile, Kennedy kept his focus not on power, but on principle. In interviews that followed, he reminded the public why he did what he did. This isn't about left or right, he said. It's about right and wrong. America's democracy belongs to its people, not to the highest bidder. That message resonated deeply. It wasn't just about exposing one man, it was about reclaiming the moral foundation of the nation. Kennedy had touched something raw and real in the American spirit, the desire for honesty, fairness, and courage in leadership. Weeks later, as more revelations came to light and as Soros's credibility fractured, Kennedy was asked if he felt vindicated. He smiled gently, that trademark glint in his eyes, and said, I'm not here for vindication. I'm here for the truth. The truth doesn't need a PR team, it just needs someone willing to say it out loud. In a world where power often hides behind wealth, and truth gets buried beneath influence, John Kennedy's stand became a symbol of resistance, a reminder that integrity still has a voice in American politics. By the time the dust settled, the message was clear: no one, not even George Soros, could outspend the will of the people. And as Kennedy walked out of the chamber that day, reporters shouting questions, flashbulbs popping, he simply adjusted his glasses, gave a small nod, and said, It's over. America belongs to Americans again.